Welcome to your post-holiday email marketing intervention. My name is Hank Hoffmeyer, the digital marketing infotainer. I like to make marketing fun and successful. I also happen to be the senior manager of client solutions for iContact, and I'm going to be your presenter for today. Take a seat or stand like I am, doesn't matter. This is an intervention. You're here for an intervention, got you in the right room, and you can't leave now. Even if your boss wants to pull you away, tell him you just entered an intervention. Before we move on and focus on you, let me tell you a little bit about me. And wait, I need to check on a package that I have coming today. And we all probably fall into that area of FOMO when we know our package is out to be delivered. We always want to know where our packages are. And I use an app called Aftership that actually shows me where my packages are. The reason being is I think I have a problem. If you take a look, I thought that was outlined there. If you take a look at my Twitter bio, the last sentence there says my favorite hobby is buying things just to track it. I think I have a problem. I think I have a shopping problem. My wife had to really reel me in with a shopping intervention because I was spending a lot of money on frivolous things, especially since I have Amazon Prime. We had to set budgets. We had to make sure that we weren't overspending on things we didn't need so that we can spend money on things that we want to do, like vacations or buy clothing and other things that we might need. I don't know if you have a similar situation, but I like to buy a lot of things. And I think that's just the way, especially with the pandemic. You want comfort foods, you want to buy things that just make you feel better and get through the day, week, month, because last year was the longest, fastest year ever for me. Just felt like every day was going so slow, but also felt like the whole year went by in just a blur. So I needed to set a budget. I set a budget for what I needed to spend on. And the same thing as marketers. If you're a marketer or a business owner and you're here today, you need to have a spending budget. You need to have a marketing budget. If you don't have one, I'd say sit down and create one. Figure out how much you're going to spend on social media advertising, on email marketing, pay-per-click, influencers, whatever it is. Make sure you're creating a budget so that you are as successful as possible. And you can also measure yourself to ensure you're being successful. The most important thing is email marketing. Make sure you have a budget for email marketing because email marketing is so powerful. You're here because you send emails, hopefully, or maybe you want to send emails. What I'd like to do right now is learn how many emails you actually send out. If you can, take the poll that's in front of you. Yes, this is an interactive session. I want to know how often you're sending emails, or maybe you fall into the last category of, I don't send emails right now, but I need to start sending emails. All right, they're coming in. Got one person that does not send emails. Great. There'll be a lot of great content for you. And if you're sending daily, there'll still be some information here. And don't forget, at the end, I want to have a discussion around email marketing, not even just questions, but iContact and myself like to really help marketers and small business owners out by sending emails. All right, looks like a majority of folks send monthly, then it's daily, weekly, quarterly, and then not at all need to get started. Thank you for taking that. Let's share the results so you can see those. All righty. Now that we know how often you send emails, let's talk about the importance of it. There's a lot of emails being sent. 306 billion emails sent per day in 2020. And this is forecasted to grow to 361 billion by the end of 2024. Email is still popular, even though we hear that email is dying, it's still a very popular channel to use. 80% of businesses use email marketing to acquire and retain customers. There's 3.9 billion email users, and about 60% of consumers prefer receiving branded content through email than other channels such as SMS, meaning it's still very important. This is an intervention, right? Well, relax. I'm not here to tell you to send less emails. I actually want you to send more emails. Well, at least better emails, and maybe for some of you more based on the poll that I just took. The frequency is going to depend on your business and what you do and how often people might want to receive emails from you. And you need to be aware of that. But what I want you to do is make sure that you're using the most powerful marketing channel you have at your fingertips, email marketing. All right. To do that, you're going to need people to send to. Now, there's some folks that don't send enough, or maybe they're not sending at all right now. Is that one person? You need to grow your subscriber list. Even if you're sending a lot of emails, you still need to continue to grow your subscribers. The best thing that you can do is make sure that you're growing your subscriber list because of the attrition rate. About 25% of your list is going to turn over year over year. You want to make sure you're always adding to your list. Let's start things off right and have a conversation around list growth. Let's talk about sign up forms and then welcome emails. When it comes to forms, this is an excellent and easy way to get people to sign up for your email newsletters, your specials, whatever information you have. One thing that's very important is make sure that whatever forms you create, you're adhering to your branding, your colors, that it's identifiable, that it's for you in your brand, especially if it's on a landing page, it's not tied to your website, it's on social media or somewhere else. Make it appear as though it is your business using your business colors. And if you have fonts set, use those fonts so people trust you, know, like, and trust you. People do business with businesses they know, like, and trust. KLT. A good tip here is only ask for the information you need. In other words, the only thing you need to send an email is an email address. Maybe gather the first name so you can personalize those emails. There might be some other opportunities, and we'll talk about where it's okay to ask for more information soon. But the only thing you really need to do to be effective is have an email address and a first name. Let's look at some samples. If you want to put a sign up form directly on your website, look at ColourPop. They're doing a great job, and they only ask for the email address, simply offering less friction. In other words, if I wanted to sell you makeup or something else, food, I'm not going to ask you for your first name, last name, your favorite color, make and model of your car, how much money you paid to the IRS last year, because you would not give that to me in return for a 20% coupon off of some kind of good or service. Asking for the email address is the easiest way to get people to submit a form, and maybe asking for a first name. My friends at the American Marketing Association, where I am president-elect for the local chapter here in Raleigh, North Carolina, we ask for their first name, last name, and email address, and it converts pretty well. And we keep our form sort of prominent on our website so that you see it as soon as you get on the landing page, because we want to offer marketers more information. I encourage you to look into a chapter that might be close to you and joining the American Marketing Association, your local chapter, if you have interest. It's a great organization, very helpful. A lot of webinars, just like this one. You have Bath and Body Works. Again, they're just asking for an email address and you're confirming the email to make sure there's no mistakes. Very simple, the bottom left-hand section of their website. And when it comes to certain industries, yeah, it's okay to ask for more information. Like Biscayne Taverns asking for your birthday. I don't know about you, but I like free food. And for the most part, restaurants, when they ask for your birthday, they're going to send you a special or maybe a discounted or free meal the next time you go into their location. I always take advantage of that. Starbucks always offers me a free drink on my birthday. It used to be around your birthday, but now you have to actually go in on your birthday, and that's okay. It's free. I'll take advantage of it if I'm out and about. Now we have Bangkok newsletter on the right side. They're not asking for more information, but they're asking what types of email subscribers want. Are you looking for food if you go to Bangkok and want to learn where to eat? Are you looking to hear about nightlife? Maybe you just want the PDF magazine. They're asking for information up front so that they can send you relevant information when they start sending emails. Sign-up forms on a website are not the only ways to get people to sign up for your emails. In other words, a static one down at your footer, like the AMA version. You can also use a pop-up. When somebody comes to your website, I would give them a little while, maybe 10, 15, 20 seconds to let them get to know what you do. Then serve a pop-up and ask for that email address. It helps you get more emails because sometimes people may not scroll all the way to the bottom and see your sign up form, or if it's on a landing page, they may never see it. A pop-up is a good way to get front and center right in front of someone. But again, as a reminder, make sure to let them look around and know what you do if that's the first time they've been to your website. Another option is to serve up what's called a exit intent pop-up. When they go to leave the browser, close it, go to a different tab, basically leave your website, serve them with a pop-up, leaving so soon, before you go, whatever call to action you want to offer. 10% off if you sign up now is what this one here is doing, Hydrate. It's a great way to get people to convert before they leave your website. All right, we're collecting all of these email addresses. We have great sign-up forms, we have landing pages. We're directing people from our social media channels to our website, to our sign-up forms, and we're getting all these sign-ups. What are they going to receive? Really think about it in your mind as far as what you're sending as a marketer. What are your subscribers going to receive? And maybe a follow-up question would be, when are they going to receive what you're sending? You need to start sending welcome emails. If you're not doing it now, make sure you're setting up welcome emails, and we'll talk about effective welcome emails as well. But the first thing people are going to see is that first email from you. If I sign up for your emails and a month goes by and then I finally get a welcome message from you, I might not even remember who you are, and I'm going to mark your message as spam. It's not something that you want to do, and it doesn't start the relationship off right. I remember going to a sporting goods store, well-known one here in the United States, and I think they're pretty much all over the country. And I saw a little sticker on the window that said, sign up for a newsletter and get 10% off. I signed up, waited a couple of minutes, checked my email, checked my spam folder, nothing. I went in, there was actually something I was looking for that day, picked up the item, walked around, looked around a little bit, went up by the cashier, checked my email again, still didn't receive it. I decided not to buy the product there because they said they were going to give me a discount, and I never received the discount. And I waited, and I left. I bought it somewhere else. You know what happened? 3 days later, I got that welcome email. 3 days later. I didn't go back to buy anything. I just let it expire and never did, no, I'm not saying never did business with that company, but I didn't buy from them that day. Maybe a couple of months later, I went through. All right, here we go. Welcome email address. First thing, welcome email. First thing it does is it sets expectations. When am I going to receive emails from you, and what am I going to receive from you? If you set those expectations and that relationship off right, it will help develop that relationship long-term, and people will open more and more of your emails. You can also include social links in your welcome email to get people to sign up for your social media accounts or follow you on social media, Facebook, Twitter, subscribe on YouTube, whatever it is you want. The most important thing you need to do is send that email right away, as soon as they sign up. With iContact, if you're using a sign-up form, it gets added right into your iContact account, and you can trigger that welcome email to go out as soon as they get added to the account. If you have to wait a day or so because you're at a conference collecting names and then you have to put them in your iContact account, that's okay. 1 day is okay, but as soon as you can. You can also ask your subscribers to make sure that they're adding to the address book and engaging with your emails so that they don't go into this spam folder. It's okay to ask for that as well. And for the most part, you can offer, something in that welcome email. It can be a discount, it can be a special, something for them, especially if you mentioned it on your sign-up form, they're going to offer something. This is where you need to provide that. Let's talk about why welcome messages are so important and why you want to send them right away. They're effective. They have a high open rate. They tend to get more engagement, whether it's opening or clicking. And we're going to talk about the importance of opens and clicks later, and where things are changing when it comes to that little teaser there. 74% of consumers expect a welcome email. I expected one when I went to that sporting goods store. Your subscribers want that email right away to make sure they're receiving them so they can get the discount if you're offering that, or just know that you're going to be sending them emails. Click-through rate is going to be higher than regular emails, and they're 56% more effective than standard newsletters. If you don't have one set up, set it up now. Otherwise, if you currently have one, go back and take a look at it see how well it's performing, see if you can update it, make some changes, make it more effective so that you're converting more or you're getting more people to open more of your emails down the road. I have a couple of samples for you. Michael's here. They're starting the relationship off by saying, thanks for signing up. They're giving you a 20% off discount here. And it's kind of a clean looking email with the background and a couple different variations of color. I really like that one. For B2B, my friends at Litmus, which is an email testing tool, they're saying, woohoo, you're in, and they're offering you some resources. And they want you to hop right in and get a guide and start learning about sending better emails. Surf Stitch here is a good example of using imagery. Welcome, you're in. They're using an image and they're personalizing it using the first name and giving you $20 off a purchase of $100, which is something that is good for an offer. And then we have Otter.ai. I love their playful look and feel here. They want to know how you're going to use their product by clicking the button, giving them feedback, and asking you to follow on social media, like I mentioned earlier. All right, now that you're gathering subscribers and you're starting to send emails, it's time to hit them hard. It's time to start sending emails. And I know what you're thinking. Hank's telling me to spam people, to send so many emails that they don't want them, right? Well, that's not really the point here. What I'm saying is you don't have to send 10 times a day. But if your business allows you to send one time a day, once a week, once a month, do what's right for your company, for your business, or for yourself. Whatever's right, whatever your subscribers will accept is what you want to be sending. That's the frequency and cadence that you want to send. Now, people are really getting concerned right now, and there's something we need to talk about: privacy and then value. Because shift happens, folks. People are tired. They're tired of being tracked and they're fighting back. They're rejecting cookies. Pretty soon, third-party cookies from websites are going to be on the out. It's going to be hard to track people on websites. These are not the type of cookies you eat, folks. These are the type of cookies that'll be track people that move about your website or go from website to website. They're also tired of receiving spam. It's just something that is becoming normal. People got used to getting things for free, discounted meals, free apps on an iPhone or Android. Then companies said, well, if we're going to give you something for free, we need something in return, and that's data. And they would use that data for advertising. And then some larger companies got in trouble for using too much data and not really respecting people's privacy, which is why we're seeing a lot of this concern right now. But people still want things for cheap or for free. And I don't know what the future holds. When it comes to email marketing, we're going to look at Apple, we're going to look at DuckDuckGo. What they're doing is they're making changes to how they handle email addresses. If you haven't heard, in iOS 15, which was released last fall, users had the opportunity to opt in to be able to have their email more secure. And what does that mean? That means things are going to change for you as a marketer and how you measure things. Right now, 40% of people are using, almost 40% of people are using Apple or the Apple iPhone and email client to open emails. That's a lot. That's a large portion of subscribers that are out there. Now, keep in mind, when we're talking about people that are using the email client that's built into the iPhone, which you might seen or know about, it's not just like an Apple email address, a me or an iCloud email address. You can use your Gmail email address and use the Apple client to open emails. And what's happening is people are going to receive your email, and whether or not they click on the email, it's going to register as an open. Apple is going to open this email address or this email, and it's going to be counted as an open, even if it was not opened. I get an email on my iPhone and I see it and I don't even open it. Apple counts that as an open. It's going to record as an open no matter what email service provider you use. It'll count as a false open, or maybe it is an open. We don't really know. That means you can see a slight increase in your open rate, which is not accurate. The thing is, data has been flawed for a long time now. If someone does not load images because they block them, they just don't want them, or their corporate server blocks them, they're not going to count as an open. Same thing is going on with iOS now, but people think that this is a huge issue. We've never really 100% with accuracy been able to measure opens. It's more like a signal of whether or not people liked your subject line or your email or your brand. And you can continue to use that, but really what we need to do is shift to something else. I would say if you had to shift to something, it should be clicks. If you're looking at clicks, that's definitive. Somebody has to click on a link and it is measured on the recipient side. Right now, companies like Apple, DuckDuckGo can't make any changes to that. If I really wanted to give you some advice, people treat the open as the North Star. That's their North Star of their measurement. In other words, my open rate's high. If it's a 50%, it's successful. But I want you to have a different mindset and look at everything that's going on. Look at your open rate, look at your click-through rate, look at your click-to-open rate. And most importantly, when I used to work with clients one-on-one, I used to say the most important metric is conversions. How many clients or subscribers are converting from my emails? That is probably the most effective measurement. If you use Google Analytics, you can either set up goals and how much they're worth, or if you're an e-commerce store, you can set up your conversions to find out how much money you're actually making off of these emails. To me, that probably is the most important metric. But if you had to look at something, as I mentioned, clicks are a good thing to look at and try to increase those clicks. But yes, you do want to get the opens still. Opens are still important, which means that subject lines are still important. What you can do is look at other bits of data as well. Look at somebody's profile and information you have there, whether or not they've made a purchase. Look at their email and find out if they are using a business email, a consumer email. Look at their history, site visits, and look at preference. You can use all of this information. Especially if you have a shopping store, you can integrate that data and look at what people are doing and not doing. When's the last time somebody purchased something? How much are they spending? When did they visit your website? How often they're visiting your website? When are they opening emails? When are they not opening emails? It's time to look at a lot of this data. And I hope to have some more sessions down the road to talk about how to actually leverage this data in your email platform and maybe with omni-channel marketing so that you are more successful. When it comes to the shift that's happening, I have some homework for you. You didn't think you were going to come to a webinar and get homework, did you? Well, I want to give you homework. If you're currently using email marketing and use it often, I want you to, number one, review your segments and make sure that you are looking at maybe clickers instead of non-openers, right? Non-clickers. Somebody click on an email, then do list hygiene or send those win back emails, because somebody may be opening your emails and you just don't know it. Also, geolocation is affected by the Apple privacy. It's going to be hard to measure where they are. So maybe if you have segments based on location or geographic information, it's time to check those out or maybe even remove them. If you're using workflows, make sure that you're looking at those workflows that reference opens or non-openers and geolocation. And then if you have forms, think about what to ask for. In other words, maybe if you are using geolocation because you have events in different states and you were really relying on where people opened emails, it might be time to ask people where they're located using your sign-up forms. Just be smart about what you're doing. Go back and look at what you have set up. And if you need help using eye contact, you need help, contact our support team, reach out to me. We'd be glad to help you review and optimize what you're currently doing. Now it's time to level up. You're getting subscribers, about all of these changes that are happening to privacy, to everything that's going on with marketing. It's time to make sure that you're getting the best bang for your dollar when you're sending out emails. Let's talk about segmentation and then automation. Segmentation is basically a filtered view of your email subscriber list. In other words, I bring in a bunch of subscribers to a main list, but I want to know people that live in Canada. What I could do there is set up a segment and it includes the field of country, and it would be Canada. Then I would have a segment based on my subscribers that are in Canada. Segmentation is the best way to make sure you're sending to the right people. And according to the DMA, Digital Marketing Association, there's a certain amount of increase in email revenue that you can get from email marketing if you simply use segmentation. Can you take a guess at what percentage that is? What percent of an increase in revenue can you gain by using segmentation or sending to the right people? Go ahead in the chat. Give me your best guess. I really like this one. If you've been on one of my webinars, you might have heard this one before. No one ever gets it on the first or at least third try. I'm monitoring the chat. What I want to know is what percentage? 12%. Okay. 30%. Let's try triple digits. Just give a guess with triple digits. 100%. All right, Harrison. So Brian's the closest, but can you believe this? 760%. Who would have thought by sending the right email to the right person that you would actually see better engagement, more ROI? Segmentation is one of the most underutilized features in email marketing, making sure you're targeting people correctly. And remember those people I mentioned in Canada? If I had an event in Florida and I emailed to people in Canada and it was like only a couple days away, how many of those people in Canada are going to be interested in an event in Florida? A handful, if any. That's why segmentation is important. For me, there are 4 pillars of segmentation. There's geographic, where are they located, and how can I target them effectively? Then you have demographic, age, gender, income, education, occupation. And my favorite is psychographic, lifestyles, values, concerns, personality, attitudes, and what I call AIO, activity, interest, and opinions. And you might be asking me, well, this is great, especially with demographic and psychographic, but how do I get this information if you're telling me to really only ask for an email address and a first name? A great way to get this information is surveys. Sometimes by simply asking people to provide more information so you can send them more relevant email actually works. If not, you can incentivize those surveys, or you can simply ask people to go back and update their profile. That's a great way to get information. And the fourth one is behavioral. What are they doing and not doing? Are they opening, not opening, clicking, not clicking, visiting your website? Are they giving you other signals? Make sure you're looking at your VIPs. Like, you might have people that have not bought from you in a while, but you may have people that always buy from you. And I feel like most marketers tend to forget about those VIPs. Sometimes you need to give them some deals and discounts too, even though they're spending money, because you never know when they might go to one of your competitors. Today's consumer is what I call the empowered consumer. They're mobile. They have a mobile device. That means they're hands-on. They can look at prices whenever and wherever they are. I don't know if you've ever been in an electronics store like Best Buy and do a price comparison shop with Amazon. I've done it. You've probably done it. We're smart. We know what to look for. We know where to go. We go to friends and family on Facebook. Hey, can you recommend a doctor? Can you recommend a good place to get this or a service? We're smart. We know how to ask and look for and research information. We're also very vocal when we have a bad experience with a vendor, with a restaurant, a company. We're quick to go and leave a bad review or bash people on social media, but we're also kind people to an extent. We might go leave positive reviews on Yelp or Facebook or Google as well. We are very vocal in this day and age because of the technology that we have. And consumers are committed. If you give them value and you give them support, they are going to stay committed to you for the most part and keep giving you business. That's why you want to build that relationship, that know, like, and trust. Send that welcome email. Send emails only as often as your subscribers want. Send to the right person using segmentation. And we're going to get to automation soon, but using automation. Remember, people are global. They can do business from anywhere. I can buy a gift for someone overseas from here. I could set up services for someone in another country, another state, right from where I stand or sit, if that's what you're doing. And another thing is consumers are very concerned right now. We're concerned about inventories. We're concerned about getting milk when it snows. We're concerned about buying toilet paper when there's a pandemic. We're concerned about our health, our friends, our family, our job. We need to make people feel the value that we're offering from our business, from us as people. If you're a consultant or something, they need to see that value. They want to trust you and they want to be able to do business with you. That's why you need to set up personas. Who is it that you're marketing to? Who is it that is your ideal customer? I'm going to give you two examples, but you might have one, you might have 10 different types of personas, which you can segment and send different types of content to your different personas. Here's Sally. She's 20 to 45. She likes the outdoors, cooks at home, and she lives on the West Coast, let's say California. Then we have Sam. He's around the same age, and he likes to eat out often. He likes technology, and he lives on the East Coast. Would I want to send Sally an email about the latest laptop technology at 8 a.m. Eastern time? Not unless Sally's looking for a gift for a significant other, boyfriend, husband, or something like that. For the most part, I would probably not get a lot of engagement from Sally on that email, but Sam would really like that email and he would probably fully engage with that. Take the time to sit down and map out who your customers are, whether it's 1 or 10, and develop your segments based on that. And you can use the 4 pillars of segmentation to help you set up those segments. And we can always help you do that as well. Marketing automation. Marketing automation is convincing the right people that need what you provide at the right time. With automation, you're going to be able to use data, which is something you have, the information you're gathering, which we've spoke about during this webinar, where they're located, maybe their income, first name. You have all of this information that you can use in automation. Then there's triggers. This is like time based and when things happen or don't happen. These are triggered based on either information or events that happen. With segmentation, you're able to nurture people. You can automate that welcome email. If it's simple enough, as soon as somebody's added to a list, you can automate that welcome email to go out right away. You can create a nurture series. This would be a series of emails, getting people to open along the way and let them learn about you and your organization. And I already mentioned the triggers. And when we talk about the empowered consumer, you want to make sure you're nurturing them and making sure that they're getting to know you because of all those different elements I mentioned. You know, they're doing research, they know where to go, they're concerned. Get them to really build a bond with you, your brand, your organization, or you, so that you can be successful. You know, day 0, you're going to send that welcome message, and maybe you're going to wait a couple days or next day, and you're going to send an emotional appeal email, telling people why they should do business with you, what you do in the community, all those good things. And then you could send a differentiator email, and this would be what makes you different than your competitors and why they should do business with you. Then after a while, what you can do is use an incentive. Have an offer in your email. It could be a discount. It could be something to say, hey, here's a little something, or it's a strong call to action to get people to actually buy from you. We can also use it to just, do those series of, hey, if somebody opened this email or clicked this email, we're going to wait 3 days and we're going to send this email. And you can also use it for like abandoned shopping cart. If somebody abandons their shopping cart, you can wait a few days, then send the email or a couple hours, depending on how you want to set that up. Sometimes you do it right away. Sometimes you do it the next day, but people get used to getting those abandoned shopping carts. I like to always change it up and do things at different times. Let's look at some examples. And I have some examples from within iContact because they're simple, easy to set up. But in essence, the way they're set up, they can be used anywhere. But the visuals are going to be from iContact. Here, we just have a simple welcome email workflow where somebody's going to go ahead and get the welcome email, and then we're going to wait 3 days. And if they did not open the first one, we're going to resend the differentiate. No, I'm sorry. This one's set up a little bit different. So we got our welcome email. 3 days after, we send them a differentiator email. Then what we're going to do is anyone who did not open a differentiator email, 5 days later, we're going to send them the emotional appeal. And then 7 days later, regardless, unless they were sent that emotional appeal, to get the emotional appeal. So you can even do it where you send a welcome message, wait 3 days, check to see if they've opened a welcome message. And if they didn't, go ahead and resend the welcome message. Or with the information I shared earlier, you can do it based on a click. If they didn't click on a link in the email, you can go ahead and resend that welcome email. Then send a differentiator. You can do the same thing with the differentiator. But if they opened, the welcome, they'll get that once. Then they'll get the differentiator, then they'll get the emotional appeal. But you could do those checks along the way to see if somebody engaged with that email and resend it if you want to, or if somebody clicked a specific message in your email to give you some kind of an alert that they like certain type of content, you could shift and send them something different. Let's look at a specific date type of automation. This would be, let's just say we have a webinar coming up or an event. And we have it set for a certain date. And this one's a little bit out of date, but let's pretend we're talking about next month, end of February. So we'd have February 28th there. 10 days before, we can go ahead and send out an invite to someone. Then 5 days before, anyone who did not open the first message, they'll get that first email again. Everyone else will get a reminder. We can also check to see if they're registered if you have that data flowing in and out. Then 3 days before the event to everyone, just a reminder that it's starting. And this can be checking to see if they registered for the event. So one person can get the, if they registered, they can get the reminder. If they didn't register, they can get a reminder to sign up. And then one day after, you can go ahead and automate. Thank you for showing up. We appreciate you attending our event. Here's a link to the recording, stuff like that. So that one is specific date. Segment qualification would be if somebody met certain criteria. A simple one could be if their favorite color is blue, let's let them go through this series. But this one is anyone who's not opened an email in 6 months. So as soon as they meet that criteria, as soon as it's gone 6 months and they haven't opened an email, we're going to go ahead and send a message. Are we breaking up? Question mark. I don't know about you, but if somebody sends an email with that subject line, I'm probably going to open it. I want to know why they're breaking up with me. And then 5 days after that initial event or the initial entering segment, don't be a ghost. Anyone who did not open the first one, we're going to go ahead and send them that don't be a ghost. 10 days later, we're going to send another message. Here are the divorce papers. We're going to end this relationship. You don't seem to be engaging with our emails. All along the way, we're checking to see if they've opened one of the previous messages. So the last one, we're checking the previous 3 to see if they've opened. And if they didn't, we're just removing them from the list, cleaning up our list. And you can even do this with clicks as well. Then we have custom date. And this is probably something like birthday, like I mentioned earlier. This can be a subscription. So this is here. Let's talk about this as a recipe subscription that somebody's paying for these great recipes to create awesome meals. So we have a subscription expiration date, and this can be different for everyone. So if mine is 2 months from now, 30 days before, I'll get an email just saying, hey, your subscription is due to expire in 30 days. Click here to renew. Then 7 days before, we can check to see if they're still expiring, send them another email 1 day before. Then if for some reason they did not renew, 7 days after, we can check in with them, 14 days after, and then 30 days after. We have 3 opportunities after the expiration in this situation here to see if people still want to renew. Maybe they just didn't have the money, they didn't have the interest, or they were just waiting, or they forgot. There's a good opportunity to send emails out before a date, on the date, or after the date. For a birthday, you can send something out 5 days before, a coupon the day of to say happy birthday and reminder, here's your coupon. And 3 days later, hey, you forgot to use your coupon. And as I mentioned, it can be simple. It can be just firing them off based on the dates or the triggers, or you can check along the way to see if somebody took advantage of something, the date has passed, or opened or not clicked an email, or not clicked or not opened, whatever you want to check for, it's all there. I often find myself having to have a lot of content interventions with marketers. They simply always create the content that they think is going to work and is going to be awesome, but it's only in their eyes, and their subscribers sometimes tend to not really like what the marketers are sending. It's about your subscribers and not you. Remember, developing personas, you want to make sure you're doing that and make sure you're sending to the right information to the right people. I worked with a gentleman that sold glasses. And if you wear glasses, go ahead and comments. How often do you buy a pair of glasses? If you have glasses, or if you don't have glasses, or you don't have contacts, how often do you think people buy glasses? Every week, every month, once a year, twice a year? Kelly says once a year. For me, it's once a year, sometimes every other year, just depending on how well I treat the ones I have. When I spend more money on glasses and buy the expensive ones, they tend to last a lower amount of time, whereas the cheap ones tend to, I don't get that philosophy, but these are expensive ones and I hope they last a while. Just got them a little while ago. Well, back to the story. Worked with a client, sold glasses. Every week he sent out, what do you want to call that? Employee picks and frames he was trying to sell every single week. And I was wondering why his open rate kept going down. And at some point it was only at like a 3% when you have FSA money to spend. I agree with that too. Yes, you do that. And then sometimes it's included with your healthcare, which is cool. But he was just sending out these emails and wondering why his open rate is going down. I took a look at what he was doing. We took a look at his audience. We built those personas. What I informed him to do was start adding information to his emails, such as how to organically improve your vision slightly, if possible, how to clean for or repair glasses, and just information around glasses in general, eyesight, and maybe include a couple of frames or something like seasonal frames. Maybe somebody would buy a different color frames in the fall or in the spring to make themselves look a little bit better. Me as a speaker, I like to have cool looking frames. I actually did just order another pair. I forgot the name of the company, but they have these, they're blue translucent frames, but they have these snap-on things that go on the front with magnets. And I bought the sunglass version for that, but I can get different colors, which is cool. As a speaker, I like to, stand out a little bit, especially if I'm on stage. But regardless, by adding more value, more information into his emails, he was able to provide more value, get people to look forward to his emails, even if they weren't ready to buy glasses, and his open rate went up and sales started to increase because of that. Just remember, it's about your audience and what they want, not what you want to promote. And that leads me to talk about content and providing that value to your audience. I love to talk about the bank analogy. Every time you send an email, what you want to do, especially in the beginning phases, using automation, you notice that I mentioned sending emails and then using some kind of incentive. What you want to do is send out emails and build up equity, put deposits in the bank. Every time you're sending an email, information, value. Then at some point you can ask for the withdrawal, and that's making a sale. 3 emails, 4 emails, then ask for the sale, or lightly promote, heavy promote. You do not want to be selling all the time. It needs to be a byproduct of what you're sending out. Help your audience. They'll see you're being helpful. Then when you have an ask, they're more likely to convert. And make sure you're making more deposits than withdrawals. If you have not read the book by Gary Vaynerchuk, Jab, 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 Right Hook, I highly recommend it. It's mostly around social media, but pertains to email as well. But what it does is it talks about providing that value. So jab, 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 right hook, value, ask for the sale. Gary Vaynerchuk, jab, 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 right hook. And subject lines are still important. We mentioned that earlier. It helps you stand out in the inbox so that people can actually open, because if they don't open, they can't click, right? Which is what I'm telling you to start measuring. Use personalization in subject line with first name. Make sure you're split testing, which iContact has split testing capability. Test different versions of your emails, even though the open rates are not going to be 100% successful. It'll still let you know if one's good or bad. Use emoji in your subject line to stand out in the inbox, because it's a crowded inbox. And your subject line should be about 6 to 10 words in length. Otherwise, it'll get cut off in the inbox and people might not know what you're trying to say. And as a pro tip, use something called the pre-header. What you see here in the example is the bold subject line, and then there's text right next to that. Years ago, you might have seen, can't view this email, click here to view online. And that was the first bit of text at the top. But now you can actually use that real estate better. And we have a way at iContact to just put the pre-header text in, so it can be an extension of your subject line. Highly encourage you do that and test that as well. With getting personal, email is the only channel where you can really get personal with your subscribers. I can send to 100,000 people and make it feel like a one-on-one conversation by simply using the first name in an email. So use first name, use the city if you have that. If you have events coming up, you can mention the city you're going to be in and automatically inject that. You have the birthday information. You can say, we know it's your birthday, happy birthday. You can even use the date if you want. And you can also inject product and services into the subject line. And these are tips that you can use in the body of your email as well. So subject line and body, and make sure you're using personalization to build that KLT. And that stands for know, like, and trust. When it comes to email content, you want to make sure you're using the 60-40 rule. Aim for a ratio of 60% text, 40% images. Otherwise, you may land in the spam folder. Use a variety of content and a variety of different templates so that you can make sure that you're standing out in the inbox and you're staying fresh towards people's eyeballs. Make sure you're adhering to your branding. I already mentioned that earlier with the forums, but also with your emails. Make sure that you have alt text behind your images. In other words, what's going to be displayed if your images are not showing. There's a little box in iContact, allows you to don't just put logo, put logo for iContact, or if it's a product, really describe it so people want to see what that is or click through at least. And again, test your content, just like I said with the subject lines. Here's an example of a well-built email from Apple. They always let their products do the talking, and they do a good job of using what's called negative or white space. It's not cluttered. It's not so busy that you don't know what's going on, and the call to action is to buy now. I always make sure to reference using the classic Z pattern, where we read from left to right and down, at least in the English language. So go ahead and set up your email so it flows down if it's a longer email, and get us looking down and scrolling so we see more of your email. And if you want to know how well you did as far as the look and feel of your email, the white space, or if it's just formatted correctly, use the squint test. Put a preview of your email up on a screen, squint really hard and take a look at it. Does it look pretty close to the original and you can understand kind of where things are and what they might be? If so, you've passed the squint test. And remember, humans are visual by nature. We love to look at images and watch videos. Look at TikTok and look at Instagram and why that's so popular. Use really good images in your email, and make sure you're also using video. Why video? Because video is 80% of marketing right now, and it has a 95% retention rate versus 10% in text only. As a bonus for you folks, if you're not using Facebook custom audiences or lookalike audiences, you're missing it. You're missing out. You can take content or your data from iContact email addresses up, like say it's your most successful clients. You can upload those to Facebook and say, give me people that look and feel and act like this. So you can serve them ads or serve them a sign up form to get them to sign up for your newsletter as well. And then custom audience would be people who haven't clicked on an email in 6 months or a year. You upload those and send them an advertisement saying, hey, we noticed you haven't been opening our emails. Would you rather follow us on social media or something like that? So custom audiences allow you to target people that you upload, and lookalike audiences give you an opportunity to take people that look and feel like a current audience you have. If you want to talk about that, happy to always talk about that. But that wasn't so bad. This intervention wasn't so bad. I've walked into worse interventions before, and I've given worse interventions to marketers before. Just remember everything that we talked about today to make sure that you're successful in 2022. What worked last year might not work this year. Have a different mindset. Join different groups and communities to learn about email marketing. Stay in touch with iContact and follow us so we can help you along the way. We'd be happy to help you through support, myself, anyone. We have another webinar coming up in February, probably middle of February. That one's going to be about creating content that creates FOMO. And on February 2nd, I'm going to do a walkthrough Wednesday. I'm going to be covering landing pages. Be on the lookout for that. Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube, maybe following us on Facebook, whatever your preference is. Those are the two channels we're going to stream on for the walkthrough Wednesday. But always follow us on social media and make sure you're checking your email for our upcoming events. I hope this was very helpful. I know we're coming up on time. If there are a few questions, I'll stay a couple minutes after to answer those questions. But I hope you enjoyed this session. Hope you learned a lot. There'll be a survey at the close of this session or it will be emailed to you in a couple days. I'd appreciate the feedback so we can continue to give you value because we want to make sure that you're successful. And I thank you for being here. I don't see any questions coming in. We'll go ahead and end for the day, but I hope to see you next month for Walkthrough Wednesday, as well as our next webinar. Thank you for being here. Have a great rest of your week. And this intervention is over.